Dill is very fragrant and is often used in fish dishes, broths, soups, or salads. However, this herb is quite delicate. If it is not stored properly, the leaves can quickly turn yellow, the stems can become soft, and it may even develop an odor after only a few days in the refrigerator. Today, I will share with you 4 very simple ways to store dill. Some methods are for the refrigerator, while others allow it to be stored for longer in the freezer. Please choose the method that best suits your family's needs. Before we begin storing it, we need to prepare the dill very carefully. Dill has many small, delicate leaves, so dirt, sand, and dust can easily become trapped inside the bunch. I remove any bruised sprigs, any parts with yellowed leaves, and cut off the base if it is too old. After that, I place the dill in a basin of clean water and wash it gently. You only need to use your hands to lift and lower the dill in the water a few times so that the dirt and sand fall away. You should not rub or squeeze it firmly because dill leaves are very thin. Even a little too much pressure can bruise the dill and cause it to spoil more quickly. If the bunch contains a lot of dirt, you should replace the water and wash it 1 or 2 more times. When removing the dill from the basin, I usually lift it out in small handfuls instead of pouring the entire basin of water through a colander. By doing this, the dirt and sand that have settled at the bottom will not be poured back over the dill. After washing it thoroughly, I let the dill drain, then gently spread it out on a clean towel. I do not pile the dill into a thick heap because the dill underneath will take a very long time to dry. You can spread it out in a thin layer, gently blot the top with additional paper towels, and let the dill air dry naturally. This is the most important step in all 4 of today's storage methods. If the dill is still wet when it is wrapped tightly, moisture and condensation can easily build up inside. Water left on the leaves will cause the dill to become soggy, slimy, and develop an odor more quickly. If it is frozen before it has dried, the water droplets will turn into ice, causing the dill to stick together in one clump and making it difficult to take out when needed. Try gently touching the leaves and stems. Only when they no longer feel wet to the touch should we begin storing them. Now, we come to the first method. I place all of the dried dill on the table, arrange the sprigs so that they face in the same direction, and gather them into a neat bunch. The bases should be on one side and the leaves on the other so that they will be easier to cut later. Next, I wrap the entire bunch tightly with plastic wrap. You should wrap it from the bases up to the leafy ends so that the bunch stays neat but is not wrapped too tightly. If you wrap it too firmly, the delicate leaves will be compressed, bruised, and lose their shape. Do you think this looks quite similar to a long roll of dill? The convenient part is that we do not need to open the entire bunch each time we use it. When I need a little dill, I take out the bunch, open the plastic wrap at one end, and use a knife to cut off a section of the size I need. You can cut both the tender stems and the leaves directly into small pieces. The remaining dill stays neatly inside the plastic wrap, so it is not disturbed or exposed to the outside air for too long. After cutting, I pull the plastic wrap back over the freshly cut end, wrap it tightly, and return the bunch to the refrigerator. If the old plastic wrap is no longer sealed properly, you can use an additional small piece to cover the end of the bunch. This method is especially suitable if you often use dill to sprinkle into broths, fish dishes, eggs, or soups. Each time, you only need to cut off one section instead of taking out the entire bunch, picking through it, and chopping it again from the beginning. I will place the bunch in the crisper drawer or in an area with a stable temperature inside the refrigerator. You should not place it directly against the inner wall of the refrigerator because that area may be too cold, causing the leaves to become damaged or partially freeze. Now, we move on to the second method. With this method, I still keep the dill sprigs whole. First, I cut a very thin slice from the base. This helps remove the part of the base that has become dry, old, or bruised during transportation. After that, I prepare a clean paper towel. I moisten it with a little water and then wring it out very thoroughly. The paper towel only needs to be slightly damp and should not drip when you pick it up. I wrap the damp paper towel around the base of the bunch of dill. Wrap it only around the lower stems and not around the leaves. Dill leaves need to be kept dry because if they remain in contact with a wet paper towel for too long, they can easily turn yellow and stick together. After wrapping the base, I place the bunch in a clean bag or a container with a lid. During storage, you should check the paper towel. If it has dried out completely, you can lightly moisten it again. If it becomes too wet, changes color, or develops an odor, replace it immediately with a new piece of paper towel. The second method is suitable when you want to keep the dill sprigs in their original shape so that you can cut them into different sizes. For example, today you may chop the dill finely for a broth, but tomorrow you may want to cut it into longer sections for a fish dish. Keeping the sprigs whole gives you more flexibility. The third method is to chop the dill and freeze it in a jar. I take the dill that has been washed and dried completely and cut off any stems that are too old. The tender stems can still be used because they are also fragrant, so you do not need to remove all of the stems. I gather the dill together and chop it into the size I usually use. You should think about the dishes your family often cooks to choose the appropriate size. If you often add dill to broths or eggs, you can chop it finely. If you use it for fish dishes or soups, you can leave the pieces a little longer. After chopping, I gently separate the dill with my hands so that it does not stick together in clumps. Next, I place the dill in a clean, dry jar with a tightly fitting lid. Which country are you watching this video from? I would really love to read your comment. It is wonderful that we can meet each other from all around the world. After adding the dill, I wipe the rim of the jar clean, close the lid tightly, and write the storage date on the outside. Writing the date may seem like a small step, but it is very useful. When there are many different types of food in the freezer, we can easily identify which jar should be used first. When cooking, you only need to open the jar, use a dry spoon to take out the amount of dill you need, and add it directly to the hot dish. There is no need to thaw it first. Remember not to use a wet spoon to take out the dill. Moisture from the spoon can create additional ice inside the jar. After taking out the dill, we need to close the lid immediately and return the jar to the freezer. It should not be left on the kitchen counter for too long. After freezing, the dill leaves will be softer than fresh dill. Therefore, this method is suitable for cooked dishes such as broths, soups, eggs, fish, or sauces. If you want to garnish a dish with beautiful fresh dill sprigs, you should use dill stored in the refrigerator. Now, we come to the final method. This method is suitable for people who do not want to chop the dill right away or who want to keep the sprigs whole so they can use them more flexibly later. I keep the dill sprigs whole after they have been washed and dried. If the base is old or too tough, I cut it off. After that, I arrange the dill in a clean, dry container designed for freezer storage. With this method, we do not need to line the bottom of the container with paper towels, parchment paper, or anything else. The dill simply needs to be completely dry, and the container needs to have a tightly fitting lid and be suitable for use at freezing temperatures. After arranging the dill, I close the lid tightly and place the container neatly in the freezer. When I need some, I open the container, take out a few sprigs, and close the lid immediately. Frozen dill is quite brittle, so you should handle it gently. You can chop the dill while it is still frozen or add it directly to the dish you are cooking. As you can see, the sprigs are frozen whole and are quite easy to take out, aren't they? You should not take out the entire container and leave it outside for too long. When the dill begins to thaw, the leaves will become soft and release water. If it is returned to the freezer, the dill will freeze back into a clump and its quality will decrease. Therefore, take out the amount you need quickly and return the container to the freezer. Which of the storage methods above do you think is the most suitable for your family? Please leave a comment and let me know. If you have an even better method, do not forget to share it with us as well. Thank you for watching the video. If you found the video helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to the Merry Home channel to support me. See you in the next video. Which of the storage methods above do you think is the most suitable for your family? Please leave a comment and let me know. If you have an even better method, do not forget to share it with us as well. Thank you for watching the video. If you found the video helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to the Merry Home channel to support me. See you in the next video.